Okay, hello everyone. Great. Hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Okay. We can see each other well. Okay.
Good morning.
All right, looks good. Well, all right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our fifth episode in our webinar cycle in which we are discovering the Genially universe. If you've joined us in past webinars, you've seen an overview of the platform. We've also spoken about interactivity, animation, gamification. You can find those videos on our YouTube channel if you missed them. On this occasion, we are bringing you a webinar that is going to be the most integrative and collaborative. We're going to discover how Genially works amazingly with two powerful tools from Microsoft, OneNote and Teams. And in order to do this, we have the priceless collaboration of Stephen Abrams from Microsoft and Becky Keene, educator and Microsoft expert, who are going to participate in this episode today. So hi, Stephen and Becky, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, it's really great being part of the session today with the Genial team. I'm really excited about this integration, and I really believe that integrations between content and platform is key for teachers who want to have all kinds of options to pull from when developing classroom experiences that are unique and diverse. So thank you for inviting us here today.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm based in the Seattle, Washington area, and I discovered Genially last January, almost a year ago now, at BET London, and have just been excited about getting more involved with that tool ever since. And I love the integrations that have come about. As a self-described Microsoft fangirl, I appreciate anything that brings all of my worlds better together. So great to be here.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you, Stephen and Becky. And we also, of course, want to thank all of you who are watching us live, and also those of you who are watching the recording. So let's get started. Okay. I will share my screen. Can everyone see my screen properly? Check.
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Good, perfect. So today we are going to talk about integration. So first, what is integration? And we will look at what it is, how to use it to really maximize our potential and our efficiency, regardless of what professional sector we're a part of. We'll also learn about how to really unleash the performance and output of our team. And we'll discover more about the tools that I mentioned before, OneNote and Teams, some of the greatest Microsoft tools that exist. And Stephen will help us out with that part. And then we will hand it over to Becky, and we'll do a hands-on exercise in which we will learn about how to integrate OneNote, Teams, and Genially, and then how we can get the most out of each tool, regardless of our professional sector. Finally, we will answer your questions live. And of course, remember that you can always ask any questions or doubts that you have on our social media channels using the hashtag AskGenially. So let's get started. So first of all, what is integration? As we've learned in past webinars, digital creations can really accommodate a wide informational complexity thanks to their potential for bringing together all types of content, all within the same creation. We can show videos, text, pictures, animations, small applications, documents, social media, really almost any kind of content that you can imagine, we can have that all within the same place. Pretty much any content that's located on the internet is able to be embedded in another location. This is what's known as integration. Integration plays a really big role in creation tools like Genially, which allows you to embed content from more than 400 web providers. And that's including video, audio, pictures, almost any kind of content that you would need to integrate into your creation, and you can do it in a fast and easy way. So this way, you can really make use of the full potential of the internet and all of the content that's stored there. And this is really great because it allows us to scale and to organize the information in layers through the use of interactive elements. And don't worry, we will delve further into that topic in a future webinar. So today, we're going to be busy with a very powerful aspect of integration. And I want to pose a question to you. What if you wanted more? What if you didn't want to just create or integrate content, but also enjoy all the advantages of creating amazing and interactive content in combination with your favorite tools? It might seem like a utopia, but thanks to Microsoft and Genially, it's now possible to do this in a very easy way. But what is the point of creating this amazing professional content if we can't share it with the rest of our team or in our classroom? So now is the time to make information and technology be at our service. So let's free ourselves from the routine. Let's develop work that's more professional and more creative by generating a time and a space for collaboration that will lead to fantastic results. Let's use the tools that are necessary to achieve success and to convert those around you into a highly effective team. Now, you already know Genially, the world-leading platform for creating interactive content that brings your ideas to life and that anyone can use to create spectacular, interactive, and animated content in just minutes. Now, my question, do you want to learn more about two great tools that will help to increase your efficiency? I'm sure the answer is yes. So let's discover them together with Stephen.
Hey again. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Teams and OneNote. These are products that I use every day in my job at Microsoft as a program manager. But they're used worldwide by really people in every profession, and definitely now very much in education. And so we're going to kind of walk through these two tools that allow you to be more productive when collaborating, maybe with other teachers and definitely with your students to keep kind of ahead of your classroom activities. So let's talk about Teams and OneNote. Let's start with Teams. Teams is a tool from the world of Office 365. It's free for all education centers. It's really a chat workspace, but it allows us to communicate with our students, integrate content from different subjects, different websites, different resources, share files, and work collaboratively on top of them. I can add activities, I can create assignments, I can use rubrics, and then I can give personalized advice and feedback to each student, and all along insert and use resources from external apps and websites inside of the Teams workspace, as Becky will show you in a few minutes with Genially. Next, I'm just going to touch on OneNote, which is really a digital notebook that's integrated inside of Teams, but also works on its own. We all use OneNote every day to really keep track of everything. It allows you to integrate content from different workspaces, all within the same place. And since you're the teacher, you have access to all the student notebooks as well through Class Notebook, and you have a content library for documents and a collaboration space for group and teamwork. So now Becky's going to kind of show how both of these tools look like when they integrate with creations that are made in Genially.
Yay! This is the exciting part. Not that the rest of this hasn't been super exciting, but I love sharing all of this in action. So basically, we're here in Teams, let me get back to our conversation space. This is kind of the main landing page of Teams. And you can see over here on the left, I have a couple of different channels in Stephen and Becky's class on thermodynamics, which, you know, we've just been teaching on our weekends. So basically, we can create a new channel. Here we have a week 1 channel going on, and this is where all of the information around this particular topic or unit or week or lesson or group of students can exist within our class team. So channels help us stay organized. I'm going to go back to the general channel here because this is where I have some content built in that I want everyone to see. First, we have conversations, and this is where we can post content, have, you know, a place to coordinate plans. Teachers can make announcements. I can tag specific people in the conversation and send them an alert, really similar to a social media feed that you might be familiar with. We can lighten the mood with memes and GIFs and all sorts of content that's available by starting a new conversation here at the very bottom of that space. We also have the option here for video calls, which I won't launch because I'm in a video call, but that gives us that real-time collaborative integrated communication opportunity that that we all are becoming more and more used to as 21st century workers. Then we have the Files tab. This is a space for shared documents, a repository that is owned by the team itself. So if I choose to upload a file here or create a new file, I know that my students who are in this class would be able to access those files. And I can even set permissions so that we can collaborate on those files together. Or I can post files in this class materials section, which gives me an opportunity to know that those with the little lock symbol cannot be modified by my students, which I know feels good as teachers when we know our content is safe from modification. The third tab here is the class notebook. Class notebook is OneNote, which is my favorite tool of all time, integrated inside the team space. So I can open this class notebook fully in OneNote Online, in another tab, in another window, or I can open it through my desktop app or Windows app version of OneNote, OneNote on an iPad. It all works the same, thanks, or any web browser, thanks to OneNote Online. And in here, we have a really collaborative workspace and that collaboration space where my students and I can all work together, take notes. If I'm using this with colleagues, that's a great place to put meeting minutes and things that we're all working on together. That's a great example of professional collaboration, right? All those meeting notes we enjoy attending. And then I can post things just for my students in the content library or my participants, and finally see my students' content there as well. So lots going on, and I'm going to show you an integration there in just a minute. Then we have the assignments tab. This is where, as a teacher, I can be creating assignments for my students to complete. We can, of course, attach rubrics to those assignments, different ways that I can grade these things. Here we have an assignment called All About Teams. You can see none of my students have done it, but that's okay because I'm going to just give them a little extra time. we made it due last week when Stephen and I were prepping. Let's go back to an assignment that's due today so they don't all feel late. This is actually due tomorrow, so no one is late here. But once those are turned in, I can give feedback, score them on rubric, and the students can even resubmit those assignments for another round if I choose to. So finally, I'm going to skip this new tab and go to the plus tab. This is an opportunity where we can add more elements. Now, there are so many apps and tools that I can integrate right into my team space. Probably one of the most popular is a website, because that allows me to create this virtual environment for students to learn. So I can use my website link to paste in a share URL from my Genially. And that gives me an opportunity to put Genially right here inside of Teams, which I've already done here, just for ease of demo. And that means that students can be accessing that content from directly inside this space. So really what we get out of Teams is this collaborative, productive environment that works with my students and my colleagues in one classroom space, which is really fun and exciting. So then we have OneNote. And I just had to click refresh on that because I hadn't loaded it yet today. So that's what happened there in the background. There's my Genially, just right inside the Teams space. So back to a little bit more about OneNote, because I'm going to show that integration in just a minute, which is really exciting. And I love, this is one of my favorite parts. So we talked about how we have the collaboration space to all work together. We also have the content library where I can post content for my students, or a school leader can post content for educators working in their school system. And those things cannot be edited by the student participants. And then we have the students who have been added to this class, and I can view as the teacher their private notebooks and all the content they've been working on, leave them feedback through audio, through video, through inking, through links, through typing, all the different ways that kids value getting a timely and effective feedback. I can insert all sorts of things into these spaces. So YouTube videos, Vimeos, all sorts of different content gets added to these pages through OEmbed or other technologies like that. And in this case, I've added a Genially right inside the notebook. I'm going to show you what that looks like from the OneNote app side, because that's where you'd want to go if you're going to add a Genially link, or any link to OneNote, is using the app. So let's take a look at how to do that. I'm going to go over to my Genially account here, and I'm going to grab this awesome Genially infographic that was just being shared on my screen, and I'll click the little share icon as I hover on that thumbnail. I'm going to choose public page here and copy that URL into my clipboard. Then I will open OneNote. I'm using OneNote for Windows 10 right now. And I'll go ahead and go down to the content library and create a new page so you can see this in action. I'm going to use my emoji keyboard here to grab a heart, to add some excitement to my page title. And then I'll just click anywhere in the white space, and I'm going to use a Control V to paste in that link. And you know what? It grabbed the URL there, which I didn't mean it to do. And that may have just messed something up. So let's try that again. Let me go like this. And I'll do a paste this way. Try that. There we go. So what this is going to do is render. I chose keep text only so it wouldn't grab that URL annotation. And that pastes in and renders into a Genially automatically. I can extend this, make it larger. And this isn't just a screenshot. Sometimes people feel like, oh, that's great, you shared a screenshot. But that's not the case. This is a live, active Genially infographic that is now embedded inside my notebook for students or participants to view. And all of these buttons work just like they would if I was out on the Genially website or accessing this as a tab through Teams. So that's pretty exciting. I love that feature. And the second feature I want to show you, the second integration, is share to Teams. So we just looked at pasting a link into OneNote, and now we're going to talk about sharing to Teams. So I'll go back to that Genially infographic that I have and click the share icon again. But this time I'll choose the ... ellipsis feature, which my rule of thumb here is if you see ... ellipsis, you should always click it, because there's usually exciting things in that menu that you maybe weren't aware of. And in this case, I have one of my favorite buttons, Share to Teams. When I click Share to Teams, a new window pops open here, and you may be asked to log in if you're not logged into Teams. I'm already logged in this morning, so I didn't have to do an additional login here. I have two options. One is Share to Channel. So that's going to post a conversation about this resource to the conversation space inside my team. That's a great way to ask people to look at content that you've created or maybe give you feedback. That's also a way that students can be posting their work for other students in your class to see, which is very exciting. As a teacher, because I'm logged into Teams as a teacher, I also have the option to create an assignment. So that's where I could come in and choose my thermodynamics class, enter a title of the assignment, view this resource. I would, of course, be very descriptive for students in my directions to the student. I would assign this a point value. We'll give that 10,000 points. I did that once as a teacher. My kids flipped out. They could not take a joke. So this is going to create that assignment in Teams. Let's go check it out. So here I am in my team space. I'm going to go back over to assignments. And now you'll be able to see that I've added that view this resource, and I receive a little assignments pop-up letting me know here in Teams, hey, a new assignment has been created. And that also goes into the conversation space. So students have no excuses, right? This has been posted in a multitude of spaces. So those are just two things I wanted to share with you this morning, how we can paste a Genially view link into OneNote and also share a Genially straight into Teams using that Share to Teams feature.
That is great, Becky. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
I'm sure everyone is really looking forward to trying it out if they haven't done it already.
Hopefully.
All right, so I will share my screen again with you all. Okay, great. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed that demonstration from Becky and you all have a little bit more of an idea of the power that those Microsoft tools can have, OneNote and Teams, and also how you can integrate Genially in those tools. So thank you so much for that. And so we hope that you've enjoyed this webinar so far, in which we're seeing how we can integrate Genially with Teams and OneNote. I am just going to check the chat if there are any questions from those of you watching us now that haven't been answered yet. Let's just have a look. Okay. So far, it looks like everything's been answered so far, so that's great. Now, let's see. As always, so those of you who have seen our previous webinars, you know that we do a prize drawing for one pro plan among those of you who have registered for the webinar. And the lucky winner will get an email from us, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. If you haven't registered for the webinar and you are just joining and watching us live, we'll put the link in the chat now so that you could be sure to register and have a chance to win that pro plan. So good luck to all of you. Now, if you don't win the prize drawing, don't worry. We here at Genially know that half of something isn't always a good thing, but Genially at half price is. So with that being said, we want to celebrate Black Friday with you, and we are offering you the Genially Edu Pro and the Master Plans at 50% off. So you can use the discount codes that you see on the screen now. And keep in mind that they are only valid for the first 1,000 users who use these codes, so don't miss out. And get ready to unleash your creativity with these plans. So now we have reached the end. I think we've answered all of the questions live that you've had during the webinar so far. But if you have any lingering doubts or questions, please feel free to ask them on our social network channels using the hashtag AskGenially. So now let me stop sharing my screen so you can see us again. So now I just want to thank all of you who are joining us. Those of you who are viewing us from the United States, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving this week. Thank you again to Becky and Stephen for participating today, for telling us all about the amazing features that Microsoft Teams and OneNote have, and how we can easily integrate them with Genially. Thank you.
Bye, Brenna. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, and we're looking forward to seeing you all next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.